Hello, I'm Bruce Sidwell, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to an attractive part, especially attractive, interesting part of the watershed of Sligo Creek. Some of Sligo Creek's water comes from springs throughout the watershed. These days, due to development, most of the springs have disappeared from view, usually by being diverted into storm water pipes. Perhaps the last one that can still be seen is celebrated in a spring park in Takoma Park. This small municipal park is in an old neighborhood of the city. When B.F. Gilbert, the developer and first mayor of Takoma Park, bought the many acres of woods and farmland in 1886 he would use for his city, a valuable asset was this large spring since it provided plentiful drinking water. The spring did prove popular, even supporting a small bottling plant during early years of the 1900s. However, the spring was condemned and diverted to a storm drain in 1947. Happily, the area around it became parkland, eventually being ornamented with the statue and the brickwork you see now. The statue honors the great Indian chief Powhatan, best known these days as the father of Pocahontas. The artwork was done by a local resident, Norman Green. He's also known for the life-size bronze statue of Roscoe, notorious bantam rooster displayed in front of old town shops. The stream was only allowed to run about 30 feet to a storm drain until the early part of this century. At that time, Todd Bolton, the city arborist, was inspired to daylight the stream. As part of that project, he designed a bog for the stream to settle in before it made its way down the hill. He and the city gardener planted native water plants as well as trees and shrubs including cypress, swamp magnolia, and river birch. Around 2008, the Friends of Sligo Creek got the idea that our organization should spend attention on this park. So we did two things. We planted some native shrubs in the area where the stream is recaptured, and we identified and labeled examples of all of the native trees and shrubs. The label gives the common name on one side and the scientific name on the other. I believe this is the only wooded area in the watershed that has labeled plants. It makes this park into a basic little arboretum. Knowing the names of animals and plants is the first step in nudging folks towards a connection with our natural world. Let me take a moment to remind you how trees are identified. Scientists historically used flower structure. Now they may even use DNA tests. But most nature lovers tend to identify trees by the structure of their leaves. Most identifying keys primarily rely on that, like this one I'm holding. However, as you become more acquainted with the trees you regularly see, you come to realize that there are secondary characteristics like bark structure that assist in identification, especially if there are no leaves available. Here are some obviously different examples, including the bark of river birch, sycamore, and black locust. Eventually, even specimens more similar can be recognized with a little practice. Here are equally large trees just a few feet apart. This is the bark of black gum and of willow oak. Nice thing about inspecting bark is that it gives a nature lover an excuse for tree hugging. By the way, a checklist of the native woody plants in this small park is available on the Friends of Sligo Creek website for your enjoyment. So where does this little stream go? It turns out that after it leaves the park, it goes right into this storm drain, goes back into a pipe, but the pipe only goes a couple of 100 yards underneath the next street or so, and then it turns out that the stream is again daylighted for about 100 yards or so, where it happily goes along in another little park area. Then it joins up with Takoma Branch, which is a very large tributary of Sligo Creek. So, this has been Bruce Sidwell, and thank you very much for joining me today at Spring Park, and get out there and enjoy nature.